Well, at least you survived it, though, unlike the 3 guys on my team. They're talking about mother's cards or food stamp card, then her debit card. Yeah. A lot of cases to open, though. Oh. Try to so I can just like get through this quickly. All right. Well, I'm gonna get some new folks. Right now, I can only get 1 scout because that's all they have available. Gotta go for some more soon. You do loot via loot boxes. It's essentially, yeah. I mean, the upside is you gather them in the field. You can actually pick up loot boxes in the field, and then they give you the loot they give you is really just geared to like mod your characters. Okay, so we got a new scout, which is you. You got 4 points to use. Unit get okay. Unit gets 40% crit chance on the first shot of the mag. And double shot, yeah. Okay. 7% accuracy. Don't care about that one. 15 damage and +1 ammo. That's fine. 5% accuracy, give you 7% accuracy, and give you 40 damage. You just pick up your gear to earn after mission. You see what you got in gear, all the new ones highlighted. That's kind of what happens here. It's basically the same thing, but the difference is you don't know what you're getting until after the end of the mission, which may be the difference. Okay. So what do you have? New stuff here. You got +1 meter movement range. 30% damage on Overwatch to automatically reload during Overwatch. No. Not changing that. Diagnosis. I'm not really worried about healing too much. I haven't had to do that very much. Let's take the accuracy bonus. It is part of the main plot. It happens between the events of E-Day and before... Is it before Judgment? Or after Judgment? Might be after Judgment. I forget exactly. But it's before the first game for sure. Okay. And then... Oh yeah, we have the new character. I did not paint her up. Okay. Need to paint her up. Give her blast zone. Paint her properly. Put her in regulation uniform. Health untraceable. 40% damage against Overwatch shots. 30 health Grenadier. Yeah, I'll lose out on the Overwatch damage, but I'm not worried. 30 health Sleek. 20 health Heavyweight. 10% evasion Shadow. 10% evasion double down. Yeah, let's do that instead. The E of E Day stands for emergence. When the locust appeared on Sarah, they came from under the ground. They emerged from underground. Hence, they call it E Day, Emergence Day. And whenever a hole opens up in the ground where enemies come out of, where the grubs come out of, the locusts come out of, they call them E holes because they're emerging from the hole. Sniper, 50% crit. That's better. 15% crit chance and 25% crit damage. Youchie, okay. And then I'd rather have the high ground buff there. Although plus 40 damage is good. What about the other sniper? You have high ground. You have high ground also? I looked at the wrong thing. Oh, you have high ground on a purple. Okay. All right, that's fine. They call them assholes. Well, well, they do call them. They actually do say assholes a lot. But yeah, I mean, they come out of the ground out of an emergence hole, an E hole. So yeah, that's kind of what they're going for. All right, and then you leveled. This unit kills an enemy with a bayonet charge. All enemies within 7 meters get less reduced accuracy. Breach. All enemies within 5 meters gain the breached status effect. Allies who down or kill breached enemies gain 1 action and heal 20% of their max health. That sounds nuts. Enemies within 10 meters are removed from cover, interrupted, receive 30% damage this turn. All right. Yeah, give me Menacing Bayonet and this one in Breach. Yeah. Even though I don't use him very often because I don't like how the fact he has to run in a straight line to use his melee weapon. Okay. When your unit executes an enemy, it heals to max. Complete the mission without deploying any support units. Well, considering most of my support units died in the last mission. We only can have two characters, huh? All right, well. Is this a rescue mission? What is this mission? Okay. Let's go double scout, see how bad of an idea that is. Where's XCOM games? You think this game is just as good or not as good? Not as good. It's not as good. For one thing, the game is extremely linear.
Stash away emulsion, it makes me uneasy. Blow the reserve sky high and hustle to the extraction point.
This game is extremely linear. You're going through like a story, going through like acts and then chapters and stuff. But there's not a whole lot of branching off that you can do. Moments like this, where in like sort of like a filler chapter or in between chapters, we have like a collection of missions that we can do. We can only do like 3 out of the 4 of them because we're just, after that, we move on to the next step. And there's no exploring, kind of like you can do at XCOM, where, like, say in XCOM 2, you can fly around with the Avenger and do stuff, like put down radars and those kind of things, and engage in battles here and there. In like XCOM 1, you're kind of rotating the world, waiting for things to happen. It's a lot more linear in that aspect. The flexibility of the characters is much less in this game. Like, each class at XCOM really has very unique skills that really make them very specialized for what their roles are, like snipers, for example, or the Rangers in XCOM 2 and so forth. And they really excel in those areas. In this game, with the exception of their weapons doing different things, their skills within each class are not really that varied. They all can kind of do the same thing for the most part. And there was another point I wanted to get to. The mission variants. The missions that you do in this game are pretty repetitive at a certain point. Mechanicus is roughly the same. The missions are very repetitive at a certain point. Like this one right here, we're going to go blow up an emulsion. Basically, we're just going into the mission, killing enemies, and then setting a bomb on something and blowing it up. That's all we're doing. And while even XCOM, your missions do kind of get sort of repetitive because whenever there's in XCOM 1, whenever there's a terrorist attack, it's the same mission. You go in, you rescue civilians, you kill the enemies. Or you're going to a UFO crash. You're going in to kill all the enemies and gather all the stuff that you can, all the supplies and salvage and stuff, right? All those missions are pretty much the same every time you go through them, but there's enough of a variance between each mission when you do them that it still feels relatively fresh when you go into those missions. When you know you're about to do a terrorist attack mission, you know what you're about to do, and you know how to set up properly, and it still feels different when you do this terrorist attack as opposed to the one you did maybe, say, 2 hours ago or an hour ago, something like that, right? The missions, while they are the same in XCOM, they feel they're far enough apart and varied enough that it still kind of feels fresh when you go into them each time. This game is not that way. We had a few side quests, a few missions back, a few chapters back, where we had to hold two control points. There were 2 control points in the field, and you have to keep your characters, your soldiers, within these points for a certain amount of time in order to win the mission. Well, that was a side mission that we did. That's just a side mission. It's optional, sort of. Well, like the very next chapter we did, there was a main quest where you did the exact same thing. You went in and you had to hold 2 control points while the enemies attacked you. So, that was when I realized, okay, we just did this as a side mission. Why are we doing this again as the main quest? It feels repetitive. That's where I really noticed the repetitiveness of this game. I feel that is a drawback. That's why I feel it's not as good. It's still fun. Don't get me wrong. It's still a fun tactical game. And in the world of Gears of War, it's still very fun, but it is just not as, I feel it's not as deep as XCOM is. Mechanicus, you can turn off the looming Necron awakening bar, allowing you to do all missions instead. I'm guessing some. I haven't played Mechanicus yet, so I don't entirely know all the mechanics that you're talking about. The mechanics of Mechanicus, but I'd like to.
This is a demolition arm. Find that emulsion and destroy it.
And there's also not a lot of,
Now it's
sorry,
our
Comet,
turn.
but you're clicking the mouse. There's not a whole lot of ways to really vary up your units either. Whereas in XCOM, for example, even if you have multiple snipers and you take them down the same routes of like the same skill trees, you can still give them different things like medals, for example, that will give them slightly different buffs compared to, say, another sniper. If you gave them different medals, you would get different buffs. You know what I mean? That kind of variance isn't really in this game to the same level. Customization really isn't as high. You have different parts that you put on the different pieces of weapon, like kind of like sort of like in a modern warfare game. You can adjust the stock, you can adjust the barrel, you can adjust the sights, and it gives the weapons a little bit of a different buff. But that's really all the variation that you have on your character. On the looks of it, though, this game is superior to XCOM Chimera Squad. Well, I haven't played that yet, so I can't give my opinion on it, but that's not really a good sign for Chimera Squad, because while I do enjoy this game, it's not as good of a tactics game as XCOM. So seeing that there's an XCOM game that is potentially worse than this one, that's not a very good sign. Oh, another thing I would talk about as far as variation and customization, you can't really upgrade your troops very much as far as like your overall party. Whereas at the beginning of the game of XCOM, you start with 4 soldiers, right? You can take a maximum of 4 troops into battle, and then eventually you can get enough upgrades in your recruitment school that you can get 5 units that you can send out, and then you can get another upgrade where you can get 6 and send a total of 6 units into the battlefield. In this game, I think after like 2 missions, you go from 3 to 4, and that's it. 4 is your maximum. And you can't upgrade that any further. There's no Avenger, there's no upgrade station or anything like that you can do to increase that amount. And that goes also back to XCOM 1's variation, where with either XCOM 1 or XCOM 2, depending on how you look at it, whether it's the Avenger or it's the XCOM base, and you can like drill down under the base and create new like stations and buildings and stuff to do more with your XCOM army. Like do research buildings that do higher research stuff, or do research faster if you build enough laboratories, or you have enough power stations to increase how much power you have and whatnot. Again, none of that is here. Pretty much once you get outside of a mission, your only variation upgrade options are the parts and the armor that you put on your troops. And that's all. You can't improve anything with your troops, with your base, because you don't really have a base. I mean, you have this like large vehicle that you're driving around, but you can't do anything with that vehicle to make it stronger. There's no like attacks on it that you have to use all of your troops to defend it. All your missions are you're going out to do things. That's all there is. Oh, I thought I had a sneeze coming. The layout of the maps, though, explore and battle ones, there's barely variation. It's a Necron Tomb dungeon world. Most aren't that big. I played Chimera Squad after finishing War of the Chosen, uninstalled after half an hour. Ditto when mechanic is concerning upgrades.
Taking position.
I mean, I haven't played a whole lot of tactical games, I will admit. XCOM 1 and 2 and Final Fantasy Tactics are really the only tactics games that I've really bitten into. And so it's a small sample size, but I don't think I would be out of line by saying that XCOM and XCOM 2 are the gold standard of tactical strategy games, of turn-based tactical strategy games. While Final Fantasy Tactics was very, very good, I kind of give it put it in a different category because it's also got a lot of RPG to it, because it's telling a very, very distinct, elaborate story. XCOM, not really so much. XCOM and XCOM 2, not really so much of an exaggerated story, or not exaggerated, but elaborate story. It's more like aliens have attacked, destroy the aliens. There's your story for XCOM, right? So, there's a little bit of a difference there. But as far as the gameplay is concerned, I still feel XCOM is the gold standard of tactical games because of the gameplay. Tactics is a tactical RPG, indeed, not a tactical strategy. Yeah, if you take away the RPG aspect of Final Fantasy Tactics, and you really look at it with one-to-one, just gameplay alone between Tactics and XCOM, they are extremely similar. You have a map, you have a certain amount of characters on the field, you move those characters around, you have those characters attack the enemies on your turn, and you have different characters with different classes doing specific things with their classes. And, all of that stuff is very, very one-to-one, very similar to XCOM in that aspect. Obviously, the difference being, like I said, the outside of the battles, you have your tactical strategies with your underground base and all that with XCOM. In Tactics, you mostly have exploring the world and checking out some story and dialogue and character development. So, different outside of battle games, yes. Inside of battle, very, very similar. It says the tactical genre as a whole was chess. That's exactly what it is. It is a very exaggerated version of chess because it's the exact same thing. You have your pawns; they can only move so far. You have your your characters, your slower, like your heavy characters, for example. They can't move as far as, say, a knight that can move anywhere, pretty much, or a queen who can move pretty much anywhere on the chessboard, right? Your scouts can move farther, you know. It absolutely is a exaggerated chess game, which is part of the reason probably why I love them so much. Because even though I am ass awful at chess, I fucking love chess, man. There is one thing that this game does not, that this game has, that chess doesn't have, though. Grenades.
Here, catch.
You can't do that shit in chess.
Looks dead to me.
Excuse me, sorry.
You got it.
Tactics games I played, XCOM 1 and 2, Tactics, Tactics Advance 1 briefly, Tactics Advance 2, Mechanicus, EU4 of counting grand strategy games. EU. What is EU? I feel like I should know what that is. Tactics Ogre, Devil Survivor, and Here's a Might Magic. There was somebody here in the chat a couple of days ago who brought up a tactics game called Shadow Tactics. I only took a moment to glance at it, but it looks like it's a sort of medieval, in a sense, like a fantasy tactics game. Not like a Final Fantasy Tactics, but like XCOM, but with like a fantasy style of swords and magic and you know, that kind of thing. It looks interesting. Again, I didn't take very long to look at it. I didn't have that much time. But if there is a, you know, that game certainly is interesting. I wouldn't mind giving it a try by just how it looks.
No problem.
It's more a game like Civ, but way more detailed. Europa Universalis.
Scrubs are on the move.
Now, that said about how much I seem to like this turn-based tactics stuff, I don't like Civilization. Or what was the space version of Civilization called? Alpha Centauri. Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, which was basically Civ in space. I don't like those Civ games. I don't. I'm not really sure what it is that really repels me from Civ. I guess it's because I think it's just too much. I think there's just too much to Civ for me to like. Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on over here? Like a fucking nuke went off. Oh, she's down. That's not good. Civ is way slower than EU4. The pace isn't really the problem. I just feel like the Civ games, there's just so much that you have to do. Because you don't just have war, but you also have politics, and you also have diplomacy, and then you have to worry about your civilians and how, you know, and their farming, and there's so much to the Civ games. I don't want to deal with all that.
I can do this.
They named the space equivalent of the Civ games after the star closest to us. I think the idea behind Alpha Centauri is, I think it's supposed to be, if I remember the story correctly, I could be like talking out my ass here, but I think Alpha Centauri's story is like, we sent an expedition to the Alpha Centauri galaxy and to the Alpha Centauri star, and that's what the entire game of Alpha Centauri is based on. The civilizations that rose from and exist in the galaxy of the star around Alpha Centauri. Shadow President? What is Shadow President? Okay, I'm in deep shit here.
Scanning now.
Political strategy. Oh, God, no.
Enemy movement.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Last round.
Alpha Centauri is after the very early Civ games, and they made Beyond Earth after Civ 5, which in my opinion looks prettier. It's actually shittier and very broken. You oversee the background advisor of the U.S. president at the time? No, thanks.
Missed me.
No, 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 no. Okay, maybe I should be more specific. I mean, I know you're just, you know, you're just joking, you're just joshing with me, but I should more accurately say I like tactical strategy games that are tactical strategy war games, where I'm having to choose, where I'm having to fight against somebody else. That I'm good with, like XCOM. I've heard Alpha Centauri over Beyond Earth. All right, we need this execution because we need to heal.
Too goddamn easy. And stay down. Reloading.
Talk about being fucked, man. Well, she can cloak. Get her the hell away from this mess.
Moving to position.
There's nukes in AC too.
Bring it on.
The only really thing that I remember about AC when I tried playing it was I had the option to do like something really awful to the civilians of my civilization. Like I could do something called, I think it was like some kind of mind probe or mind torture or something. And it was like, it was considered an atrocity to do it, which obviously it would be if it was real. And that was the only thing I really remember doing because it was like, hey, this sounds cool to do. You know, and then I even tried like, forcing, what do they call it? Triggering a vendetta against some other factions because what I wanted to do is I wanted to fight stuff. That's probably why I didn't like Alpha Centauri, is because there was too much diplomatic management, and I wanted to be a war dude. I wanted to go battle stuff, and I couldn't trigger a war with anybody. I would even talk to like my supposed allies and go, "Hey, I don't like these guys. Let's go commit a vendetta against them." But yeah, I have nothing against those people, so I don't want to fight them. I hate this game. Fuck it, I don't want to play it. That was pretty much my experience of Alpha Centauri.
Got the goods.
Mass servitor punishment on protesters. I don't even think there was any protesting even happening. I just wanted to do something besides politics. That seemed like all that was happening.
I'm better than this.
Are you though?
Running dry.
Oh, you got him. All right. I apologize. I take back my comment. Okay. Let's put you over here. And let's drop a grenade on all those guys. Oh, at least 3 of them then.
Outgoing. Dropped him.
Streamer play turning people into cyborg zombies in an effort to shut them up. Streamer played Civ 5 a long time ago, did cautiously and all, and when he played Civ 6, he nuked every rival civilization to ensure victory.
About damn time. Moving. No mercy. Yeah, show him. Scout on standby.
Once again, I can't freaking move.
They won't get past me. Dig in! We've got incoming! you now. Almost out. Now it's our turn. Need ammo. One left. Reload.
No. Hit him with disabling shot. Killed him. That's fine too.
Eat dirt and die.
You can do it. It just turns majority of the computers against you and will open up more problems in other colonies. I remember very little other than just I had the opportunity to do that, and I was trying to start a war with somebody, and nobody wanted to go to war with me.
On it. Ready. Here we go.
Either with me or against me. I just couldn't do anything. I wanted to just fight stuff. Squeaky. I see 2 purple crates.
Acknowledge.
Right there.
Bring it on, grubs.
All right, quite a few of them. I see 1 sniper. Can't tell if those other guys on the roof are snipers. That's right, because he's not dead yet in this game.
Let's make it happen. Scout on standby. No problem. Flies for the effort. Scanning now. Heads up! Locust activity!
Believe it or not, much of AC is racing to wonder tech. Surviving the native aliens likely where Factorio got their alien idea. If you really want to start a war, just build really close to their territory and tell them no matter when they ask, give the colony, actually they'll attack. Yeah, it's... Granted, I was younger. I was a lot younger, obviously a lot younger, when I played it. So, you know, maybe if I were to give it another try with my more mature mind. Hard to say with a straight face, considering it's me. But, maybe I'd like it, but I don't really want to try it. I really don't. I think I have enough game genres that I want to play, since I'm such a variety streamer, on my plate that I just don't feel like adding something like Civ to it. I'm happy with what I want to play now. My backlog is bad enough as it is.
On the move.
It's going to be difficult because AC is very old and I had problems trying to get it to run right on 10. Yeah, that would be an inconvenience.
dead and gone.
Can you go get that? Not quite. But you can get close.
Moving. They're making a move.
I don't necessarily just mean, almost said Advent Children. Alpha Centauri specifically, but just Civ games in general.
It's giving orders.
I think the closest game that even remotely has my interest in streaming, even though I played it before, that's a remotely even somewhat kind of barely closely considered civilization is Empire Earth. And even then it's just like only because it has a,
Let's get this
you know,
done.
there's times when you have to do like diplomatic stuff in Empire Earth, but it's really not to the same level by any stretch of the imagination. Empire Earth is really just an RTS. It's like an advanced version of Age of Empires, really. That's why I liked Empire Earth. Oh, please tell me I can kill all three of them with this shot. Oh, I can. Bye, bitches.
I read you. Nice.
Go cloak. Pick up the torque bow.
Affirmative.
They fixed Beyond Earth. Doubt think you'd be better off with that game. Yeah. Will I hurt myself if I use this? Guess the only one way to find out. It probably would, but she also has a skill that heals her on a kill, so never mind, doesn't matter. Oh fuck! Don't you kick me out of cover, you son of a bitch! If familiar with Stellaris, EU4 is quite similar, except base game is set early 1400s and lasts the 1600s. No, I'm actually not familiar with Stellaris. I mean, I've heard you've talked about Stellaris a lot, but I haven't actually played it, or have I even actually seen gameplay? I might have, and I don't remember. Boink! Oh, hey, time for a full heal.
Shouldn't have messed with me. One dead grub.
Oh, and you get cloak? Cool. Not that you get cloak, that she gets cloak on executions.
Yeah.
She'll get overwatched. If she goes back one step. She can still low power shot. And get them.
Running dry. Got him, go.
4 enemies left. She has 2 moves to make. She can step forward. Bars can be addicting and you can very easily lose track of time. That's how I've heard. Same for Civilization. Can't quite get him, huh? Can't quite get it in that window? Okay, well, I guess these 2 guys get to eat it. Oh, no, I moved it just enough that I was going to get the other guy.
I'm out.
Damn it.
I'm impressed.
I just angled it wrong. There's a 40k mod one would highly not recommend.
Now it's our turn.
All right. Let's go here.
Solid copy.
Can we hit him with the pistol? 69% chance. Okay. Wait, I can't kick him out of cover? Oh, it requires 8. Disabling shot is 8 turns. Holy crap. All right. Then fine. We'll do the ultimate version of disabling shot. We'll disable his life.
Here, catch.
There's a StarCraft mod as well. All right. You can throw a grenade, so you can mosey over there. I'd better off getting it in the window from this angle. There we go. Can I get close enough to kill them both? No. Alright, well, I'll just take the single kill then.
Here, catch. Took you out.
The Utopia DLC can play as the Overmind.
Let's make it happen.
Well, he's going to guard those stairs, which is going to make it kind of difficult to get up there. But I would like to get up there anyway because I want that purple box. But she can cloak. And then she can get right there.
Solid copy.
Space Vampires Necroid DLC.
Okay.
We can try setting her up the back door, I guess.
Enemy movement.
He gets over here. Oh, he must be over here. Ah, I'll defend these stairs. Oh shit, there's a dude behind me.
Package secured.
Should I kill him with this or the torque bow? I can kill anybody with the shotgun at any time. Torque bow's rare. I fucked it up. Never mind. Kill him with the shotgun. I was trying to pick up the torque bow and I just put her into cover. Rock species. Boom goes the dynamite. Epic power barrel. Epic power barrel is what my ex-girlfriend called my never mind. Emperor Palpatine. All right, they didn't go too horrible. Long shot mod, not really my best. Not really the best. Nasher mod accuracy bonus. Mulcher mod damage 40. Okay. Surge. Chainsaw rush. think I used that one last time too. Yeah. This is the side I went for first. Okay. 13 health, passive skill, blast zone, which I think I'm okay with. Ah, plus 16 health, blast zone. Yes, please. Power barrel damage 40. Well, I don't want that because I got plus 60 up here. Why would I want the other one? Sniper mods. 60 damage minus 2 ammo. Yeah, no thanks. These two down here are still level 4 because I don't use heavies that often. Alright. Main mission. Act 3, Chapter 8. Knock, knock. Anybody home? But first, I have to pee. It's going to be Gabe, Sid, Michaela, and Raina. So it's going to be a full squad of the heroes. Should probably make sure they're their best gear then. So yeah, I will check that right after I take a pee break. So grab you some drinks, everybody. Drinks or snacks or whatever you need. Take you a little restroom break yourself, and I'll be right back. Overall, it's a one galaxy game. Control at least 75% of the galaxy to win or hell. If you're mega lucky with tech research, you can maybe beat the fallen empires. And if you do, then no chance of anyone beating you. All right, be right back. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. All right, sorry the break took a little bit longer than usual. I also wanted to grab me some coffee, so fresh cup of coffee. Tasty. Okay. We're gonna modify our heroes here since it's gonna be a full team of heroes. I want to make sure they have the best stuff on for this one. I already have a stim grenade on him, so that's fine. He has the best pistol. Doesn't really matters. Patrol. This unit's Overwatch shots get 30% damage. Unit will automatically reload during Overwatch. I like it. Plus 5 ammo. Yeah. Plus 10 accuracy. Yeah. 40 plus damage on the barrel. Okay. 16 health. This unit gets an additional 15% health. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Plus 30 health, untraceable. Unit gets 50% damage reduction against Overwatch shots. Okay. I am happy with that. Unit gets plus 2 magazine. Kinda want to give that to the sniper. Cover and not flank, 10% evasion. Let's give him this, and we'll give the sniper the other leg pads. So, Michaela, what are your current legs? 5% evasion and double down. Yeah, I'd rather you get the extra 2 magazine rounds. 7% evasion blitz. But this unit does not take a shot for a turn. This unit gets a 40% chance to gain an action. 70% chance to reload 1 primary weapon ammo during the beginning of your turn. Okay, I think I'm alright with that too. Advanced optics. 7% evasion advanced optics. Critical hit chance, 30 critical hit damage. Okay. Alright, I like that. %30 crit damage, 40% crit damage on top of the other things I just put on her. 50% crit damage. Let's give her that. I know it's already being used by the other sniper, but best stuff needs to go on these guys right now. Overwatch shots get 30% damage and automatic reload. That's fine. 10% accuracy bonus. That's fine. High ground. That's fine. I hope I can actually get high ground. Otherwise, this perk is completely useless. We have a stronger frag grenade, don't we? Yeah. That should go on a scout, though. Scout of the Vanguard. Get the scout first. Plus 20 damage. Yeah, that's fine. Plus 30 damage, 1 ammo. Yep. Plus 5% accuracy bonus, plus 7% accuracy bonus. Flatliner. When this unit kills an enemy, this unit gets 100% critical hit chance for this turn. Think I'd rather have the accuracy. Yeah, accuracy bonus. Swift, this unit takes a shot, 15% chance to receive 1 action. I think I would rather she have either damage or damage. There we go, we'll take that. 30 damage snub pistol. Let's take the stronger grenade. Helmet. Plus 13 health hardened. 13 health and maximum, okay. 16 health and hardened. Well, that's on Gabe. Okay, let's not change that. 20 health and blast zone. Okay, yep, let's do that. 30 health stabilizers, 7% accuracy. %25 to frag and stim grenade effects. 50% damage reduction against Overwatch shots. So stabilizers or additional frag damage. Got pretty high frag stuff right now. I think I'd rather have oh, that's on Gabe. Let's not do that then. Okay, we'll stay with the stabilizers then. We'll stay with the stabilizers. And then heavyweight, 15% damage reduction. Probably gonna stick with that. Yeah, let's do that. We'll stick with that. Okay, and then Redburn. Bloodlust is fine. 30 damage. Yep. 10% accuracy bonus. I think I'd rather have that. 60 damage and 10% crit chance. I think I like that too. 7% evasion. Alright, let's put you on the blast zone to increase your grenade's effectiveness. Okay. They just changed. What the hell? Why do you have a shotgun floating out of your penis? It's more like floating out of your hip, but funnier to say your penis. Something wrong with you, man? Are you okay? Why do you have a floating shotgun? I think this game's lacking some polish. What do you think, chat? Huh. When this unit executes enemy, each ally is healed to 15%. Okay, that's really good. I think I want to keep that. 30 health, heavyweight, 15% damage reduction, magazine extension, shadow. Okay, let's stick with this one then. 30 health and sleek. Okay. All right. I think we're as good as we're going to be. Yep, built him up pretty good over there. She's gone that way, okay. If I go to a different page and then come back to it, does it fix the missing shotgun? Nope, the shotgun's still there. Like I said, this game I think is lacking some polish. Ugh.